Welcome to our next episode of MNC Hoops. We apologize for not being on Tuesday. That's my fault. Busy day, overwhelmed, needed a second. So we postponed it to Thursday. So here we are. I'm your co-host, Michael, and to my left is my guy up in New York, CJ. How you doing, sir?
What's going on, brother? All is well. Just getting home from work myself. Just locking in, get some new topics here. We did miss Tuesday, but it's all good. Got some new things to talk about within that time frame. Some new things popped off. A lot of things happened in the association. So excited to get it going. My week went well. Weekend was pretty good. Back into the streaming wave. CJ versus the world. Running some 2K. So trying to get some daily content out there. Trying to do some daily content here shortly with MNC as well. So just grateful and just trying to keep this thing going.
Sounds good. Appreciate that. And, all sports are still going crazy, but that's just life, I guess. So we'll get through it. As far as my kids and everything, we're ran all over the place. Soccer starts up now soon. So my son will be playing baseball, basketball, and soccer. My girls are just playing basketball. But you know what? I'd rather them be playing than sitting at the house on an Xbox or something. So we will do it. But,
Absolutely.
I want to say, speaking of being a parent in this situation that we talked about prior, of course, LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith, whatever was going on there. But now Stephen A. has come out and said some other stuff. I think it's quite comical, but, I'm sure we'll get into that. So we have new beef going on. Of course, it's LeBron versus Stephen A. And I think it's almost just – it's comical. It really is. So do you have a clip or anything on it?
Yeah, we got a clip. This is from today. I'm gonna just play this. I'll just play a couple minutes of this because I don't know how ESPN is. I'll just leave it at that.
Gotcha.
So,
Hey, legit. That feels like a moment that had been brewing for a long time.
He's like on a Taylor Swift tour run right now.
Oh yeah, we're watching it. Yep. We're all. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you're seeing it as well.
He literally. It started off with, I didn't want to address it.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't want to address it. I wasn't going to address it, but since the video came out, I feel the need to address it.
Are you?
Are you kidding me? If there's one person that couldn't wait to the video to drop so you can address it, it's your ass. Like, seriously, and like another, he completely like missed the whole point. The whole point. Never would I ever not allow people to talk about the sport, criticize players about what they do on the court. That is your job, to criticize or to be in a position where, okay, if a guy's not performing, that is all part of the game. That's all part of the game. But when you take it and you get personal with it, it's my job to not only protect my damn household, but protect the players.
What a time. What's going on, everyone? Welcome into First Take. Thank you for being with us.
Would have gotten that interview. I take no issue with the job that Pat McAfee did. Having LeBron James on his show, anybody would have done that. The questions that he asked was more than appropriate. Outstanding job by him and his team. No doubt about that. Let's get to LeBron James. So LeBron James decides who really, outside of his crew, doesn't really have any friends in the media. Suddenly, he's going to be in Indianapolis, drive into the country and go and do a show that comes on immediately after First Take. Clearly, they were looking at it and they used the upcoming Mind Your Game podcast with Steve Nash to disguise what his real agenda was, which was to address me, because he continues to lie to the world about what I said and who I was pointing the finger at. To regurgitate an obvious point, when I talked about Bronny James early in the season and I highlighted the fact that at that particular moment in time, he simply was not ready, I was calling out LeBron James. LeBron James never addresses that with anybody. And for some reason, no one ever asked him about that. Wasn't it you who said that Bronny James was better than some players in the NBA right now before he was even drafted? Wasn't it you who said, if you want me draft my son because you wanted to play with your son for 1 year? Wasn't it you who literally circumvented meritocracy within the National Basketball Association and got the entire media world in the NBA and, of course, the Lakers organization to buy in on that? LeBron James did all of that. That is the person I was talking about as a father, not the father in Brentwood or Bel Air or wherever else he has homes. I'm talking about the father that shows up at crypto.com arena. Last time I checked, Bronny James is a professional basketball player. LeBron James went on national television yesterday and lied. He said that I have no problem with you talking about the game. What did I say about Bronny James other than at the time he wasn't ready? That was it. I said nothing else. So if that's the issue, and I pointed to LeBron James and the fact that you've circumvented a meritocracy just to get your wish at the expense of the credibility of the league in a lot of people's eyes, that's talking about you. That's not talking about your son. And then he goes about the business of taking it a step further. First of all, let's understand something to the viewing public in America and beyond. This was planned. Rich Paul was on Pat McAfee's show about 10 days earlier, or whatever. Rich Paul, for everybody that knows, is the man, the founder of Clutch Sports. He's a strategic.
It's a lot to unpack. I'll just leave it there, because that's really like how the whole thing started. So that's why I wanted to play that clip, because that was the genesis of the back and forth, if that's whatever you want to call this, right? After listening to that, thoughts?
Well, you know, who knows who's telling the truth? We'll never know who's telling the truth. But there was even one that I seen earlier today on some social media, and it might not have happened today. It's probably happened a couple of days ago, where Stephen A. was saying that if LeBron would have laid hands on him, that he would have socked him right away. 100% he would have hit him. I'm like, okay, now this is getting a bit ridiculous. That's what I was hoping we was going to see too. But, I mean, let's be honest. It's LeBron James, who is the complete top pedestal of the NBA, trying to get his son in the NBA, and, of course, successfully did it. And then you got Stephen A. that's trying to capitalize on that FaceTime, basically. Okay, I had a conversation with LeBron. Now I'm just going to keep on bringing this up in the media so he has something to talk about. You know, I don't like Stephen A. He's just argumentative over everything, but that's why he has the show First Take and everything. But, I mean, me personally, who cares? That's kind of how I feel about it. I can't believe this is really keeps coming up on the conversations. Yes, I understand Pat McAfee, like, hey, let's just talk about it a little bit. I feel like it was more casual conversation, like, you know, no big deal. This is really what happened. But then you get Stephen A. who comes back on and addresses it and kind of shows how intimate he is about the whole situation and how more involved he is, because it's more airtime for him on these. So I don't know. Of course, he says he's team Stephen A. here, but I don't get it, honestly. How do you feel on it? I could care less what Stephen A. really thinks in this situation. Now, I do get his point on what he was saying about LeBron. Hey, you said he was better than all these. You said he could do this. Draft him for me, basically. I get that part, and I think it's actually interesting. But I think this is way blown up out of proportion.
Interesting perspective. I think it's kind of in a way it's sad. And if Stephen A's intent is exactly what he's saying, if he's saying he's going at him based on those actions that LeBron made and not his son, then I don't understand how you could get upset about that. If he's literally going on national TV, and I didn't hear when he first talked about it, because I was, focusing on my life, like everybody else should be. So I did hear like when it came about, and then I started to look at what happened, but it's really hit a volcanic point at this moment, because when LeBron confronts him at the game like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty. That's not something that he does on a regular. So I think when he does something like that, in a way, there's respect there, because Stephen A is the top guy in sports media right now. I mean, look at the contract he just signed. You know, that's he's number one, whatever you want to say. But when you talk about monetarily and what he's done, so then LeBron is obviously number one in the game and his industry. So, but that doesn't make LeBron void of criticism. He said that on the McAfee show. I haven't watched the full thing. I've seen segments. Yeah, I did see that segment where he was talking about the Stephen A situation a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just funny. It's just to me, it's just kill time before the playoffs, and that's what I'm really focused on. It's kind of like, hey, look at this real fast before the offs, but it's disappointing. I don't know why LeBron. I really don't know why LeBron is taking it like him going at his son. As Stephen A is clearly saying, it's directed at him and how he moved in regards to his son going to the NBA. So that's an opinion. That's his opinion. Don't have to agree with it. But does that necessarily mean that he's going at your son? Because if that's what he's actually, because based on the transcript of what he said to Stephen A at the game, that the energy looked like that. So if that was the energy, and then Stephen A saying on TV multiple times that that's not what he was saying, he was directing it at you and your decision making.
Mm-hmm.
Then I don't understand. I really don't understand the point here, because if LeBron he's not void of criticism, then what's the issue?
Right.
So I just think there needs to be an actual conversation. Like, I mean, that's 40 years old. Stephen A's 57. You're talking about some grown old men, like they could easily get together, have a conversation, hash it out. But again, this type of publicity, these type of stories, it brings eyes, it brings notoriety to both parties. It's bringing a lot of eyes. Nate's product on First Take. I mean, you got him, on our show right now. You know what I mean? So,
yep. This is
what it does. But ultimately, man, I'm focused on basketball and the real thing. It's just weird and unnecessary. It's just a simple conversation. As like in the real world, like a simple conversation handles this. Whether it's on the phone, in person, these guys both have mutual friends that where they could. Like, it's just so. This to me, this is just kill time. But again, whatever the situation is. Yeah, it's petty, but whatever the situation is, it just needs to be figured out quickly. Stephen A saying he would have swung on him, like it's just like what are you really saying, bro? Like come on, bro, you're up there. You're up there, bro. Like you're up there. Like nobody's really trying to. Who's thinking like that? No one wants to see you in a. Who wants to see you in a situation, physical altercation with LeBron? Like, no one wants to see that.
Yeah.
So you got your chest all puffed out on your show and everything. Just relax.
Yeah, you're right. Just relax. I mean, it's everyone behind the camera can talk a lot more of their game. I mean, you could say that you would have swung on LeBron, but dude. Let's just be honest.
Like that's not sports talk. No one wants to hear. Like I don't really care about that. Like I don't. Why do I need to visualize you versus LeBron? I don't care about that.
That's just trying to measure up size, and that's just silly.
Yeah, it's fake alpha talk. But yeah, I just wanted to get this. I wanted to get this out the way, but let it be known, like what my thoughts on it and how it's really unnecessary. Like you got these two older guys, like they're supposed to be whatever type of examples to people that claim they're examples to. Not me, never. But people do look up to them. So it's like this is kind of weird and petty. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's just like, oh, this is unnecessary. You had an issue, talk about it. You resolve it, you move on. Let's talk about Lakers basketball. Let's talk about LeBron winning his 5th championship. Let's talk about Luka winning his first one with LeBron. How that changes the game of basketball from a historic standpoint. They're not. That's what I'm saying. It's just kill time. It's just trash, garbage.
Pretty much. But let's go ahead and move on over to something that actually is basketball related.
Exactly.
I'm sure you're exactly wanting to talk about this one here. Of course, LeBron James with the game winner against Pacers to snap the 3-game losing skid. As you bring that up, I'm trying to pull up it as well on my end. Of course, this was on, let's see here, Tuesday, I think. They win 120 to 119.
I believe this was yesterday.
Okay, yes, Wednesday.
Full clip. Real basketball.
Here he is down court. Luka with 2 for the win. Tipped up and in on the count. LeBron James at the buzzer.
So close game, exciting game. I really call like the last few minutes of this game, get home from work. Pacers trying to really secure that 4th spot. We're going to talk about, what happened with the Bucks shortly. And it's an exciting matchup. Lakers on a 3-game losing streak on the road, East Coast road trip. I think it was a great road trip for them. It's right at the end of the season. You're on the road. You figure out a lot about your team and yourself as a player and the coaching staff and everything. When you're on the road, it's just you guys. What does that look like as a collective? And for them to, battle through ups and downs of the game, the Pacers, they will give up some points, but they can also score a lot. They're literally in their name. They live by their name. That's one thing I really appreciate, that like the team plays exactly how they're supposed to play, how we're used to them playing. So Halliburton obviously at the top there.
Mm-hmm.
Great game. Luka drove, got it, floater, routine, came off. LeBron, high IQ, able to tip it in there right before the red light comes on. We're going back to the hotel. That's it. That's what it is. So it was a great win, much needed win. LeBron just came back a few days ago, and they've lost the game. The defense hasn't been great. So they're up right now, 16 against the Bulls in Chicago, 9 minutes in the 4th. So looking to definitely get on the right track for what they're doing in LA.
Yeah, it's definitely a good back-to-back win possibly here for them. And the fact that Luka was taking the last shot and LeBron's still there to play savior by the tip in on the crash instead of just watching his old head basically being smart and play on that. So that's good for him. Of course, you were talking about the 3-game losing skid and their defense. We may jump into that a little bit on a later show about their defense and what's happening so far if it continues to be a trend, but hopefully they'll get that lined out. But let's go ahead and jump on over to what's going on with the Bucks. You want to? Try to be kind of quick with this since it's a little late here, but of course, Bucks, we just got the news that Damian Lillard will be out indefinitely. Basically the same thing that's went on with Wemby, not in the same area, but at least the blood clots is what we're hearing. And kind of, sad news for the Bucks. Of course, they've been playing well. Of course, just sad news for Lillard. Let me say that, Dame, to have this health issue going on. Coming to the post here from Shams, Milwaukee Bucks, Dame has sustained a deep vein blood clot, we'll just say, in the right calf. Lillard is on blood thinning medication, which has stabilized the blood clot and will continue to do regular testing. He is out indefinite period. So we don't really know how long he'll even be out. I think it's going to be the rest of the season, don't you?
Yeah, definitely for the entire season. I don't know, does that blend into the first round? That's TBD. Tough loss for the Bucks. They had some moments where they were playing well, and then they had a couple losses there. But you're losing one of your best players. So it's crazy. Reverse on the Shannon Sharp joint. Lillard, they were a sleeper team, really, because Giannis is going to get 30 in the playoffs, and 30 in the playoffs is different than 30 in the regular season. It's 30. Wow, he has 30. We need to focus our entire defense towards him. Wide open shots for shooters. And when Damian Lillard is one of the greatest shooters we've ever seen, I mean, that opens up. Kuzma's a really good shooter. Torian Prince, it's a team that we'll talk about that head coach shortly, a little bit later, but if he just locks in just a little bit, this is definitely a team that could surprise and eliminate one of the, could they eliminate the Cavs or the Celtics?
Hmm.
If they're completely locked in, they could definitely make it difficult from a talent perspective based on what they have. You still got to give Doc credit. I mean, he does have a plethora of wins, a championship. It's what it is. We know what the other part is. But Lillard, Giannis has a championship. Brook Lopez has a chip. Portis. I mean, Portis should be coming back. Like they have guys that won that championship. So I see that. I see that being scary. So I don't know what the timetable would be for Lillard. Hopefully he could come back soon, and so the Bucks can make a playoff push. If that goes into the first round, they're going to play the Pacers in the first round. Could they win 1 or 2 games without Lillard? I believe it's possible. Giannis 1,000% should be able to win a playoff game without Lillard if that push comes to shove. He scored 50 against the Pacers already, 54, I think. So they don't have an answer. No one has an answer. So they can easily go out and get a dub. Maybe just save a couple more days, wait for Lillard to come back because you just don't know. Like, is he? Hopefully, obviously, the training is different. You're not going to be able to train. You're training and getting your body ready to like go into the playoffs. Now you have to stop.
Right.
That's so difficult to do, man. So prayers up. I hope everything is good. He could get healthy, come back, and I want to see what the Bucks would do in the playoffs. They could definitely be a scary team and get a couple fan bases nervous.
Yeah. Of course, right now they're matched up. If it ended today, they'd be playing the Knicks instead of the Pacers. As of right now, of course, that may change moving forward. Do you think there's a chance that they could fall into the play-in games? They're at the 6 right now with the 5-game lead over the Hawks.
Just up to the. I mean, it's up to. It depends on what they do. Doc Rivers, Giannis, they should be able to. It's 13 games left. I don't think they should make that big of a drop.
Okay, I do agree, and I even think Kuzma coming in. I mean, let's see him actually earn why we traded for him here. I mean, it's not out of the ordinary for him to step up here for what he's done in Washington and everything too. Of course, he's saying that they don't have that glue guy or the backup PG. I do agree with that, but I don't know how far in the run that will hurt them. But as far as ending the season, I do think they continue at that 6th seed because 13 games or something like that. Like you said, 5 games ahead, you've got to lose almost every one, in order to fall out. So I do think they stay at that. As far as against the Knicks or the Pacers, who knows as we play out on that. But yeah, just prayers up to him, like you said. I was really kind of interested to watch how the Bucks finish the season out just because no eyes have been on them. We've talked about this numerous of times, how they're kind of the dark horse of this team, the underdogs, if you will. No one's paying attention to them. So I thought they had a lot of fire to come into this playoffs and make some noise. Now, without Dame, I don't think they can make that noise. But again, who knows if he's back by playoffs? It's indefinite for now. So hopefully we get Dame for playoffs at least.
Absolutely. You get Dame for the playoffs, first round. Maybe it's game 3, something like that. That's perfect. We need to see that. We need to see all-time players, especially in the East. We need to see more competitive series in the first round. And
yes,
again, prayers up to Dame.
Yeah. So let's jump back over to the West Coast. Let's talk about a team that is catching fire at the moment. I say that, but I really don't believe it. I just want to. Rise and shine. The Suns get the 8th seed, or can they get the 8th seed? They've won a few games. I'm happy about that, but will they actually do anything? Who knows? Let's see here. They are 6 of 4 their last 10 games. They did lose their last game. And I think, are they playing right now? Let's see.
I believe so, yes. I believe they're playing. Let's see. Oh, no, they're not.
They play tomorrow.
They lost yesterday to the Celtics.
Okay, that's right.
By 30 at home.
They lost. They lost. Let's just leave it at that, okay?
Gotta add whole context. Season
So
online.
I mean, after winning 3 games in a row, you think, okay, maybe we're finally figuring this out and how to play together. But the defense is still not a thing. And when you give up that many points to the Celtics and lose by 30 on your home court, it puts you back in your perspective of where you are.
No Tatum.
And no Tatum.
Yep. Celtics at 5. Yeah, listen. So can they get the 8th seed?
Let's see.
They're going to make the play-in by default because I just don't think Dallas. I don't think they have enough right now. These guys are out, and making a push is good. You know, listen, for those players that are on the team, they could battle together, rally together, because they'll be there for the future. Pretty much all those guys will be there long term. So for them to kind of get some of the playoff experience, because Kyrie and AD already have championship level experience in the playoffs. So that's not something that either player is not accustomed to. So that's a plus. So even though they're not there right now, and AD's back, but he's not going to play back-to-backs. It's limited, restricted minutes. Those other guys stepping up, making plays, learning how to play together is very important, because both guys have been battling with injuries over the last few years.
So real quick, let me say this, because, the Kings have the same record as the Suns at the moment, at least in the win column. So they have 10 games left. I'm looking at their last 10 games here. It's Portland, Orlando, the Pacers, Washington, Charlotte, Cleveland, Detroit, Denver, Clippers, and the Suns. So it may come down to that very last game on April 13th against the Suns on who is in and who is out.
Who is in and who is out? The play-in?
Yes.
Yeah. So you have Dallas making it.
I mean, I'm going to look at Dallas as well, but I'm just saying it could come down to Sacramento being the team out. Of course, I think Washington and Charlotte should be W's for them, but Detroit, Denver, Clippers, and the Suns, and even Cleveland to finish out their last 5 games, that's going to be tough for them, I think. So let me go look at.
Yeah, because right now it's Dallas is 9th. Sacramento's on a 4-game losing streak. Wow.
Yes. Let's see here. Dallas. I'm pulling this up right now. So I think with Anthony Davis, even if he's Anthony Davis every other day, I still think they have a better chance than Sacramento right now. Getting down here.
Look at the Kings. You look at Phoenix, 2 teams that have talent on the team, on the roster, all-stars, guys that could score 50, but they don't play defense as a team, as a collective. And they're the best players on those teams don't have a defensive identity. They don't appreciate that side of the basketball enough as they do on the other side. They think they could just outscore everybody. And that's not how you win championships. We've seen this. This is so obvious. So it's really disappointing to see a team like the Phoenix Suns with one of the most talented offensive duos in Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. But for them ultimately to not prioritize defense, both players understand how competitive it is in the Western Conference. So that has to be number one before anything else. You have to display that, Booker and Durant, because everybody else will follow. Yep. You're the leader, you're the best players on the team. So if you're not applying that same effort every single night, this is the record you get, and this is why there are a few games under 500 and trying to battle for a play-in spot, because those guys just don't pride. Now those last 5 games, they've definitely played well. They played well outside of the Celtic game, won 4 in a row. Defense was there, hitting clutch shots, timely shots like this clip here. This win went up against Milwaukee. It was just Giannis a few days ago. This was a gritty win, a really good win. They got some young players, Nick Richards, Ryan Dunn, rookie. it's ultimately going to be up to KD and Book and what they want to do. If they want to run it back, obviously Matt Ishbia is not going to say no, because even though you're a few games under 500 and still battling, from an owner's perspective, people are still going to show up to the games because you got two Hall of Famers in your franchise going playing for your franchise for 41 games. So if Durant and Booker still want to play on the team, then they'll stay. But again, I'm very they should have a better record than this, much better record than this, and we shouldn't even be having this conversation. We really shouldn't even be having a conversation at all. As talented as these two guys are, but again, it just goes to show you how important defense is. You have to be able to make stops. You have to get stops, and you need players on the team that embrace that want to go do that want to get the rebounds, the Josh Harts, the Derek Whites, to do the dirty work, Draymond Greens, all those guys.
Yep.
Got to be able to do. You got to be able to have players on your team that do the things necessary to help win. Second chance points, offensive rebounds at a position that you really shouldn't be getting offensive rebounds at. Things of that nature. It separates good teams from great teams. And right now, the Phoenix, they're an okay team. That's all you can say about them, based on what we've seen so far this season. So can they make?
Yeah,
the
I agree with
seed?
everything you say there.
Like, can they make the 8th seed? It's going to be. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. They're going to have to get stops. They're going to have to be able to get stops, and I'm going to say no. Prove me wrong.
Okay. So who do you think gets the 8th seed? The Kings?
The 8th seed? No, I think it ends up being Sacramento. I mean, it ends up being Golden State or Minnesota.
Oh, okay. 8.
Yeah.
I was thinking the 9, I guess is what I'm talking about.
No.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the Timberwolves and the Warriors or the Clippers.
Well, I'll say this too. To catch the Minnesota, they got to win 6 games and then lose those. There's only 8 games for the Phoenix Suns left, so I don't think that they have a chance.
No, they're definitely not catching Minnesota. I mean, in the play-in, you got to be able to. You got to get 2 wins.
Right.
So can they get 2
And of
wins? I'm
those-
just not confident in that.
Let's see. Oh, I went too far. And their next games, they played the Timberwolves, they played the Rockets, the Bucks, Celtics, Knicks, Warriors, Thunder, Spurs, Kings.
Yeah, it's like that. That's rough 10.
Yes.
That's a rough 10, man. Although those are playoff teams. Pretty much all those teams are playoff teams.
Yeah.
Or playing.
So I'd say the Suns have the hardest road. But if we don't get the Suns in a play-in, there's no way they come back and play, right?
In my opinion, I don't think so. But again, if they truly want to run it back and they're cool and they love being teammates, I'm not against that. Listen,
Right.
they just gotta.
Maybe.
They just need to be able to get stops. Like, I don't know what else to really say. That's really the reason why they're not good.
Yeah, no defense.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go jump back over to the East Coast again. There's a team that's got some momentum right before the playoffs start, and want to know, do you believe in magic with Orlando's momentum they have going on here? As I look here, I think they've won, 4 in a row? They're 6-4 of their last 10 at least. They lost their last game.
Yeah, they lost to Dallas.
Mhm.
Yeah, today. But they still been playing really well. They got a really good win against the Lakers in Orlando on Monday. 30 apiece. This is when the difference. Once Banchero and Wagner, once they're able to be great floor spacers, then they're out of here. They're completely out of here. Once they get their 3-point percentage to around 36 or 38% apiece. If it ever gets there, hopefully, I hope it does, because that will completely unlock both players and completely make them even better. And look what they're doing without an elite, without great three-point shooting splits. They're going to be a formidable duo for the next decade. It's definitely reminiscent of the Celtics for sure, and Brown and Tatum. And the organization understood that early, put the right pieces around them, put a lot of depth, young guys, shooters, defensive, just all different types of players around your nucleus, which is Wagner and Banchero. And so far so good. They were really injured this year. They battled through injuries this season, and that hurt them and from a record standpoint. But they see the Cavs. They're not afraid of Cleveland, and I know they're not. They went to 7 with the Cavs last year. Cavs won the series, got it done. It's a great game. Great series, back and forth. They match up well because the Magic, they have the size. I mean, both of these players are 6'10". So when Cleveland gets DeAndre Hunter, that's so important because of what he can do, and how he can make these guys play defense if he's able to put the ball on the floor and play well offensively. So it's going to be a fun matchup. I just feel like once they get that 3-point shot down and really get that consistently, I really don't. They're going to be one of the best teams in the East for a long time. I think them, Detroit, Knicks will be up there. Celtics, Cavs. I could see a scenario down the road, because in my opinion, for the Bucks, I think if they have a couple more bad seasons, I believe Giannis will leave. So I see it being Celtics, Cavs, Knicks, Magic, Pistons. Those will probably be the top 5 teams for a while, and that's Pacers. Sick. That'll be a great collection. That's a great collection of teams, throwbacks. We're gonna get some battles. I can't wait. So yeah, Orlando's dangerous, man. They're dangerous.
Yeah, just mentioning that last week they beat Cleveland at Cleveland as well, 108-103. So I mean, like you said, they're not really afraid of them. They've already got some wins this year against them. They beat Cleveland. They beat the Lakers. They lose to Dallas. So, I mean, they're getting great wins, too. And also they're beating who they're supposed to beat. They did lose to Houston here recently, and they beat Charlotte. So, I mean, and Washington. So they're winning the games they're supposed to win and battling for the games that are going to be close. And then they finish out with Sacramento, the Clippers, Spurs, Washington, Atlanta, Boston, Indiana, and Atlanta. So they got a decent look finishing out this season for them, too. So, yeah, I think since the Bucks lose Dame, Magic might be the dark horse now moving into this playoffs, as far as the one that's going to be the underdogs that can still make some noise here.
Yeah, they were already there. Yeah, they were already there for me.
Right.
To be honest, it was really neck and neck between Orlando and the Bucks. And they're just gaining playoff experience. They went last year. Now the goal is to get to the second round and get further in advance. And they could get 60 combined tonight in a playoff game. I mean, I don't care who you're going up against. That's tough. And it's not even just the 30; it's the rebounds and the assists. I know Banchero only had 1 assist in this game, but his playmaking he's one of the best playmakers in the league. Same thing for Wagner with 9 assists. So when they're doing everything on top of the 25 plus, it's just tough to see them lose 4 times. We got close game. We got another close game. Lakers Bulls 111-110. 30 seconds left. Austin Reeves got the ball. That's a tough shot by Reeves. Wow. I don't know. This guy's special.
Speaking of another person that's special, we had a reunion. I don't know if you knew this, CJ, but Jimmy Butler made some comments about his time in Miami when he was in Miami for their matchup recently. And, of course, Miami did get the W over him and the Warriors.
Warriors got smoked.
So
They got smoked, man.
also, and I'm sure you heard what Kerr said about his reunion too, but we'll jump one hurdle at a time here.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on this?
Let's see here. I haven't read this part of it, but I did hear him talk about it. He really enjoyed it, his time coming back for it and reminiscing on some things. But let me read this real quick. You can't control grown men in this line of work. You can try, but I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to show up. I'm going to compete, and I'm going to help us win. So you can be mad. You can paint a picture, and it's not entirely true. I don't even need to get into that. I'll take it. So I don't know. That's kind of odd. Why would he be the bad guy when he's coming here to win? So I don't know what this is really insinuating on Pat Riley on this, because we know Pat Riley is basically a no-fly zone for anyone. Like you're not going to be a loose cannon. You're not going to do anything. This because he's the owner, the president, whatever you want to call him, or the governor, and it's his team. We've heard that in the prior, but I don't think Pat Riley would ever be doing anything to keep him from wanting to win. Like, I don't get that comment at all. So
I don't know. I just think people feel like, it's kind of like the Jerry Jones situation, getting up there. You're not really as active as you once were, maybe 15 years ago. And is that hurting the future of the Heat? That's a real question. Yes, he's done so much for the organization. He's done so much for basketball. We all know this, but we're talking about right now, and it's a valid question. You look at the Jimmy situation. Of course, the teams are always going to paint the player as the bad guy. We know this already. This is nothing new. Jimmy's comments. This happens all the time. But I think the real story is, what's the future of the Miami Heat, right? What does that look like? Who, if there is a situation, if Riley does step down or he doesn't, what's the direction? So, and are you going to be able to bring in big name free agents? Yes, you have the location going for you. You have the no state tax going for you. More money in the contracts. You have both of those things better than any other team. Those like this. That's just like, hey, wow. Can you just put a couple good players around? Just put a couple good players around, and this is where I'll be for the next decade. And you never hear the Heat. We heard about Lillard to Miami, and that fell through. Maybe we'll hear about what really happened down the road in somebody's book. Right? Yeah. But that fell through. That didn't work out. And then you have accomplishments and you do great things over these last 5 years, better than most teams. But it's just that next step they were never able to get to. So are they going to be able to get those superstar players in the offseason based on the incentives and the perks that they have better than any other franchise? And is the roadblock Pat Riley? Is that a real question? Is that a real story? Maybe it's not. But when you have Jimmy leave, LeBron leaves, nobody. I don't hear them. I never hear when players leave. They're talking about going to Miami. Outside of the little situation, no one's really talking about marquee names going to the Heat. Why?
Right. I don't know. And of course, when you hear that Pat Riley was asleep during the trade deadline last year, does make you wonder, is that the problem, or is it becoming a problem? So I don't know. I don't want it to be Pat Riley. Of course, he played ball at Kentucky. So, I mean, I'm a fan of him. Plus all the Kentucky players he's drafted and turned into something. But at the same time, you got to have a self-check every so often. So either look at self and evaluate what's going on, because we got to do something. The past 2 years, we haven't done anything as far as upgrading the team. and the person making those choices is Pat Riley. So I mean,
They just said the Bulls just got a layup and then got the steal, and Kobe White hit a 3 for the lead.
oh wow.
Wow.
How much
They
time's
scored
left?
6.1. They just scored 6 points in like 3 seconds.
6 points or 5 points?
Yeah, it was 115, 110. Lakers. Wow. Yeah. That's a great pass by Giddey. Kobe White and Giddey, they're having great seasons. They're underrated backcourt. Underrated backcourt. I think the Bulls are a piece away. I believe the Bulls are a piece away.
I mean, they're 8-2 of their last 10 games on a 3-game winning streak.
Man, Giddey right now is playing some of his best basketball of his career. I mean, he's still under 25.
Yeah, I think he's still under 21.
Yeah, so it's just
we won't go there. Whoa.
Nah. the IQ's always been there. And I would say him and Kobe White, that's an underrated backcourt. Let's see here. Luka's inbounding. Reeves with the layup up 117, 116. Nobody's gonna step up on Giddey? Wow. Giddey hit wow. Giddey just hit a half-court 3, bro.
Are you serious?
119, 117. Chicago.
Ball game
for the win. Wow.
Okay. Congrats, Giddey and the Bulls on that. I wish I could have watched it.
That was crazy. To watch that live on the show was crazy.
I like how you said nobody's going to pick up Giddey, and he hits the game winner.
Are you kidding? Like, I see Dorian Finney-Smith was just looking at him. What do you think he's going to do? Like, go for a layup?
Yeah.
There's 3.3 seconds left. And he had time to size it up and everything. I'm like, you're giving him time to size it up and get a good look.
It's crazy. I'm definitely going to Twitter right now so I can see this.
Yo, that was an insane game. Bulls 2-0 against the Lakers this year.
Really?
Smoked them in LA on Sunday. And then this thriller. Wow. What a game. Wow.
Here we are already. Hoop Central has it. Reeves with the layup. Oh, right back to him. That's what you're talking about. Perfect. Just perfect. Oh, look at you already with a Giddey stat up here. $15 and 17, 15 and 7, 29 and 10, 26 and 10, 19 and 13, 18 and 9. It's great. 19 and 8, 21 and 8, 25 and 16, 24 and 8. That is some great stat line for your point guard, who isn't really a big threat at the 3-point line. I don't know what his percentages are, but that's been his Achilles. He's a point guard that can't shoot very well, or at least from deep. So kudos to you, man, in the last 10 games, for real. But also, the guy who passed it back, I couldn't see who passed it back, because most times for the game winners, the ball don't get passed back,
Oh, so this was before the game was on.
Oh, this goes back 12 seconds. This is even the steal, too. Good.
All right, this is what happened.
Get it into Vucevic. Quick pass to Williams. Big shot for 3. Good.
LeBron, of course, he went to sleep over there and throws the bad pass.
Big-time players make big-time plays. Kobe White, Sub-Zero. Bang, bang, bang. What a wild
Bang, bang,
sequence.
Yeah, Stacey King is one of the best.
Elizabeth. It's the big one. I'm counting. Get it into Vucevic. Quick pass to Williams. Big shot for three. Good.
What a bad sequence right here by LeBron. Cheats up for that and he gets burnt and then throws his pass right here. Whatever kind of pass this is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know if you thought Reeves was gonna just like sprint to the ball, or I don't know. But that was a lazy pass, and Giddey's already like backed up, so he's expecting some. He's already expecting. That was just you had 5 seconds. You could have passed fake. It's a mental lapse. It happens. He's a human being.
Yep. That's
It
fair.
happens. See if we could get this game winner on here. This was crazy.
Hoop Central has it. I've seen that's who you shared on that.
Central has it already? All right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Shout out Hoop Central, by the way.
Yeah, shout out Hoop Central. Indeed. Appreciate y'all. Wow. This is
That's 8 points in like 12 seconds.
this.
No, 9 points in 12 seconds, I guess, because he hit a half quarter.
9 points to 12.
Try to get it in. They get it in the Reeves. All the way. Score! Austin! That's what you do. They don't have a timeout. With 2, with 1. Giddey!
It's a regular shot. Look at him with that pose.
Are you 6.1? Try to get it in. They get it in the Reeves. All the way. Score! Austin! That's what you do. They don't have a timeout. With 2, with 1.
He could have dribbled another dribble,
No, that walk-off.
but that's okay.
That walk-off was crazy. The walk-off was crazy.
Still posing. Still posing. Just leave it up there.
Wow. Incredible game. Incredible game. Definitely game of the year. One of the games of the year. Lakers had a game of the year last night. Then I had another one.
The Bulls, they did this, a couple years ago too, I think. At least that steal 3 to come back to win the game. I can't remember who it was against. It was when Zach LaVine did it. I remember it because I was watching it live on there, but I can't remember who it was. Oh, well.
Yeah, but congratulations to the Bulls. Like I said, they're having a really good season. They really at the start of the new year, they've been playing some excellent basketball. And I put up the stats of some of the Giddey stats over the last few games, but he's been playing like this really since January. So one piece away, either one piece away, or the development of Matas Buzelis could really. I mean, if he could develop and take a big step in year 2, you got a solid young core, solid young trio right there.
Oh yeah,
going forward, and you're not paying those guys a substantial amount of money. And once they develop chemistry, Giddey is pass first but can score, and Kobe White is a scoring playmaker. It's perfect. It's perfect. So I'm excited. This is great for the Bulls, great for the city of Chicago. It's great for the NBA that the Bulls are playing meaningful basketball in the spring, because they are. Those fans, they love the Bears and they love the Bulls.
Yep.
And the Blackhawks. So it's like if you bring a product where they see there's effort applied and everybody's buying in, they will show up. And look at the crowd. It's a Laker game with the Bulls. It's going to be packed. But you heard the Laker crowd when Reeves hit that layup, and then you heard the Bulls crowd. It was crazy. The Bulls side. You see a tale of two fan bases right there in a matter of seconds. This is what needs to be showcased. Things like this.
Not Stephen A. threatening to punch.
Right. The extracurricular stuff is good.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and jump back into some of our topics here. We got a Western Conference GM compares Cooper Flagg to who?
Prime Kawhi.
Are we serious here?
The best comp I've heard from our scouts is Prime Kawhi Leonard, Western Conference General Manager on Cooper Flagg via Draft Express. So Draft Express, extremely credible, I'd say. But again, what's your thoughts? Do you see what do you see? What type of player do you? What are similar players when you watch Flagg's Cooper Flagg's game? What players come to mind when you watch him play?
I don't know. I mean, of course, he's got the big size and he can drive and shoot and play great defense and block shots. I mean, that's who he is. And he is a baller, a young kid still. He's just 18. He is a little predictable. Of course, again, he's young. If you ever watched the Kentucky Duke game, there's even the whole conversation where Mark Pope said after the game, we knew he was going to go to his spin move, and we told him once that he spins, whoever's on the weak side commit to help, and that's where Otega away just basically took it right through from him because he put it in his lap on the spin move, and we went in for the dunk and win the game. So, of course, he's still got some growing to do, but to say who do I think, because it's different as far as the 3-point with the bigs now. Maybe Ariza, Prime Ariza. What do you think of that?
You tell me, bro. It's your account. I don't really see Trevor Ariza. I
don't see Leonard though.
Respectfully to Trevor, but I don't really see. I don't see Trevor Ariza's game and Cooper Flagg's game, in my opinion. I see a little bit of KG, one to two, three dribble pull-ups, get to his spots in 5 minutes or less. With the defensive minded, can definitely brings the energy, brings the effort. Prime Kawhi, I don't see Kawhi Leonard. Prime Kawhi Leonard is 2017 to 2019. No, I think that's a little hyperbolic there from that Western Conference General Manager, and that's coming from a Western Conference General Manager. And you really don't know the context of the conversation,
right.
What's really being said. It's just a quote. But even whatever I don't see Prime Kawhi, and that's fine. Like, it's just he's not there yet. Now, can he definitely develop and become that type of player? Absolutely, because he's able to get to his spots already right now at 18. I mean, as soon as he gets stronger, adds strength, gets to the free throw line, knocks down his free throws. With the defense already being at the forefront of his game and his mindset, which is perfect as a young player because that's only going to improve. And as that improves as he gets older, his teammates are going to follow suit because because with that alone, in complement with the offensive game, he could be a franchise-changing basketball player. And once you become a franchise-changing basketball player, the sky's the limit. And I think that's what he is. Now, I've been watching Flagg for the last few years, even before he got to Duke. We saw when he was with the USA Select team.
Yeah,
extremely confident, not afraid of the moment, going one-on-one, sizing up J and AD like it's nothing. At 17, 18 years old. So he's going to be elite. He's obviously going number one. I don't see Prime Kawhi Leonard yet, but in due time, he continues to develop right organization, right decision making by that said organization. And you could definitely, as he continues to get better, get healthy, because he's 6'10". So it's just 6'10" and be able to do everything like that. The passing and the playmaking will improve. He'll have better shooters when he gets to the NBA, and he has some pretty good shooters right now. And at Duke, Proctor, the sniper. So sky's the limit. Just not yet, but in due time. In due time, I do believe he'll be one of the rising stars and could be one of the faces of the league. Definitely could be one of the faces of the league going forward.
What about a Rudy Gay?
Yeah, Rudy Gay, mid-range.
Mhm.
I would say Flagg is better defensively
Mhm.
than Rudy Gay. But yeah, I do see some Rudy Gay exactly real similar. Few dribbles, get to the spots,
Mhm.
not moved by any type of coverage defensively. Doesn't matter how you're playing him, he's going to get to that spot, rise above you, and make the shot. And
Mhm.
he already has that in his game right now, and it's perfect. It's only going to make him even better player as he gets older. I do see a little bit of Rudy Gay. That's good. Yeah, I definitely see Rudy Gay for sure.
All right, sounds good. Glad I came back from the.
Yeah, that was rough. I tried.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I didn't want to go crazy, bro. I tried to. I was like, hey, listen, it's late. It's a little late. I got you, bro.
Well, I wanted to, and I'm not trying to backtrack on this, but I did think KG at first, but then I thought, he's more defensive minded of towards the end of his career, just blocking, a lot of attitude, and Flagg can do that. But KG did have a lot of offensive, especially back at Minnesota, what he could do too, and sometimes that gets overlooked and forget how he was in Minnesota. So I like KG as that as well, but I'm going to stick with Rudy Gay. But, of course, the comparison was to Leonard, and now we possibly can talk about their next subject here, the return of the claw. And let's see here. I don't know what the highlight actually is. Hopefully you're bringing it up on here for us. I don't know if I can pull up anything real quick. Let's see. See if I can do this real quick since you stepped away here. Screen share this.
By Leonard, the last time we looked back at him playing against the Dallas Mavericks, it was in downtown Los Angeles. I kind of felt like it's really kicked off where he's playing at now, which is the best we've seen him play all year long.
We have to start somewhere and build on that. That's exactly what Kawhi has done. You see different parts of his game that he wasn't using early on starting to come back now. He's so comfortable when he gets down to that baseline area. 60.
Yeah, that was
I actually think it's 23.
Yeah, you're good, brother. You're good, man. It's all good.
I went quickly on there. I didn't know what I could get fined, but I was like, wait a second, this is 2023.
All good, man. So it's Kawhi's last 5 games. This is not including the Knicks win that they got. Yeah, 23-10-4, 33-7-4. Just 5 steals in one game, 29 points in another. It's just getting back into his form. It's perfect transition, right? It's just getting right back into his form, and once he's able to, he's a guy. He gets to his spots, and once his shot is on, tough to stop. It's only been health. That's what it's only been. It's just been about health. That's what it's all about. And I don't like with Stephen A. coming out saying he's not excited about the Clippers because he knows at any moment Kawhi is going to get hurt. Like, that's not something you say as the face of NBA media.
No,
that's not something you should be saying. And you're saying it, kind of saying it tongue in cheek, like you're funny, like it's funny, but it's not really. It's not funny. Nothing about that is funny. That's not something to joke about.
I mean, for us, that may be okay that we could do it, but at the level that he is on, no, I don't think you're ever saying someone's getting hurt like that. Yeah. Of course, you're also not going to say you're going to punch LeBron James either, but sometimes he says stuff, I think, just so we get the clicks. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't even matter the level. Like, it doesn't even matter the level for me. It's just something it's just the way he said it. It was just weird. And if you're really trying to promote the game as being one of the faces, you should be trying to flip that. Yes, he's been injured. Yes, he's had obstacles, but he's looking healthy now. He's in stride. He should be talking about what we're talking about, and that's real journalism. And I think the Clippers, it's similar to what I talked about with the Magic and the Bucks, kind of being some sleeper teams, and in the Eastern Conference, Clippers definitely can be one of those teams. You got
Yes.
Harden. It's kind of roll of dice when in the offs, but can Kawhi kind of offset that? That's what you'd hope, and he could just kind of still be playmaker, Harden, knock down threes here and there, go to the basket. Maybe in a few games in the playoffs, show a couple flashes like he has this year. I think he scored 40 multiple times this year. And then I think Zubac is the X factor. I feel like Zubac has to be the second best player in the series for the Clippers. It has to be. But his ability to score, roll to the basket, good touch around the rim, knock down free throws, and rebound. Not only just rebound 10 rebounds, he can get 15, 20 rebounds. We've seen multiple 20 games from Ivica Zubac. He has to be the second best player on the Clippers. And then Harden facilitating and doing his thing. Ty Lue, one of the best coaches in the world. So when it comes to preparation and adjustments, it doesn't really get any better. Easily could upset one of these teams in the West. No question. Anything could happen. I mean, Kawhi could go out there and have a hell of a game on the road, and the Clippers get a win. Now what? Now one of these teams that we expect to win the series, they're down 0-1. Swings back. Got to go to the Clippers. You got to go to the Clippers' house and try to win one. It's different. So it's about to get crazy. Yeah, it's about to get crazy. I just pray everybody stays healthy. We might see some of the best playoff basketball we've seen.
And the longest.
I'd say, yeah. From like round 1 to the finals, might be some of the best basketball we've seen in a very long time. Because some series in the first round, like, oh yeah, easy 4-zip.
Right.
I don't know how this play-in turns out and what the seeding looks like post-play-in. We could definitely have some real discussions. And I think the Clippers could definitely be one of those teams we talk about because of the play of Kawhi Leonard.
Because they are 8-2 of the last 10, and before that they won 3 in a row as well. So in that span, they beat Miami, Atlanta, Charlotte, Cleveland, Memphis. They do lose to OKC. They beat the Knicks, and then to finish out their season, they've got Brooklyn, Cleveland, Orlando, New Orleans, Dallas back-to-back, and then Spurs, Houston, Sacramento, and Golden State Warriors. So they've got a few games in there that should be decent for them. Dallas, one of those 80s not going to be playing. The Pelicans, who even know who they are. The Nets are an upcoming still, and then they got Sacramento and Golden State to finish it out there. So some easy ones, some tough ones, and some deciding as far as who's going to make it into the play-in game. So it's going to be fun to watch. And honestly, Clippers, I think, are a scary team that is being overlooked. I don't want to keep repeating what you're saying on that, but if Leonard's healthy, Zubac, I agree, is a huge X factor, and how much you can keep Harden in check. And what I mean by that is, yes, get your points, but also have some reserve for Game 7 when it comes to that, because we've seen so much in the past where he pans out during those Game 7. So with the claw there, hopefully he can be the one guy taking over, and then when you need a bucket or two, Harden can say, okay, let me get you something now and not be ball dominant where I kill myself. But one thing I do want to mention, I didn't realize this. Let me pull that back up, see if I can find it. They are fourth overall in points per game, which really speaks to Harden and the Clippers on their defensive minds on this. They are 20th in points per game. So, I mean, that'll happen. If you don't have Claw the whole season, that's going to reflect that. So 19th in rebound, 4th in overall defensive, or at least points per game, I think puts him in a really good place going into the playoffs.
I agree.
Awesome. So go to the next one now.
Sure.
All right. So we got some Pat Bev coming on here. Says no one is afraid of the Cavs. This hurts a little bit.
It's just his opinion, bro. Don't gotta hurt. Let's see what Pat Bev is talking about.
Can the Cleveland Cavaliers do it?
Yeah.
I disagree.
Why?
No one's afraid of them. And I love this player to death. If Darius Garland can step up and be Darius Garland every single game in the playoffs, they're going to win. The minute he chooses not to take defense serious, they're gonna lose. The minute Donovan Mitchell doesn't take defense serious and depends on those big motherfuckers to challenge everything at the rim and put them in foul trouble, they're gonna lose. That's my only issue with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Defense wins championships. Offense sells tickets.
Well, I mean, it's kind of true with any of them in a way, you know. I mean, that's why the Phoenix Suns are not good. They don't take it serious as far as defense.
Yeah. I mean, listen, this is one of the best teams in the league all year. One of the best defensive teams in the league all year with Garland and Donovan Mitchell. I understand. I understand what he's saying.
Right.
And it's facts. I mean, it's true. Garland, they are what they're going to do. The Celtics are 1,000% call for the screen and put Mitchell and Garland on the island. So they will have to defend. Right. No question. And yes, Mobley and Allen they're gonna be on the weak side. It's gonna be tough for them to help because against a team like the Celtics, it's Porzingis, White, Brown, Holiday. If Tatum has the ball and Garland against Garland and on the island in space, like that's true. That's true. So I agree with him, but this team has been different. And then in a few years past, they've gotten chemistry, they've gotten experience as a collective with their core four. And
they understand each other now, roles and everything.
They took a tough loss last year to the Celtics in the second round. Donovan Mitchell wasn't able to stay healthy during that series, so you would hope he stays healthy. He could go in any arena and get 40, but he has to get stops. I agree. So, in a way, it sounds crazy, but I think the Cavs, because based on how they played this season, but definitely in the playoffs is going to be different. And I believe the Cavs will be in the Eastern Conference Finals. I believe they'll be in the Eastern Conference Finals, man. That's how good they've been.
I would agree with you, of course, because, you know, I've been saying this team's coming a couple years ago, but they're first in points per game. They're 8th in rebounds per game, 9th in assists, and 10th overall in the opponent's points per game. So it's really balanced. You know, this is a defensive-minded team that we've talked about prior years that now has understood their offense, and it's clicking for them, or it's clicked all year. But not only are they the number one offense in points per game, but they also are 8th in rebounding, and I think that's going to play a big part in the playoffs for them. You know, if they can get some of these teams that like to shoot a bunch of threes and still be cleaning up the boards off of those long rebounds with their big guys, I think it's got to be a team active for all those to be one and out, basically one shot, defense, rebounds, let's go, just to help keep them off of those islands. Because, you know, Boston, as much threes as they like to shoot, I think they're shooting like 45 to 50 a game. There's a lot of perimeter rebounds, basically, and they've got to maximize those rebounds and get rid of the offensive possessions for Boston in this. But
absolutely. That is how you stop the 3-point barrage that you see in today's NBA. You make them pay when they miss. If you make them pay when they miss, if they don't get back, because they're all shooting a three and they're all standing there watching their guys try to see if they make it.
Yep.
Those two play. It should be no reason why Allen and Mobley don't get a double-double every single playoff game. No reason why. No reason why they're one of the best front courts in the league. And you just highlighted a stat that proves that. So they should get a double-double every single game in the playoffs, and that changes everything. That changes everything. When you have your center is getting 17 and 13, and your power forward is getting who could score and get 25 and 12. It changes everything. Kenny Atkinson is a difference, and I believe the enhanced improvement of Evan Mobley are the differences from the years past Cavs to this year's Cleveland Cavaliers team. And I think it'd be great for that city and great for that organization and for the league.
Oh yeah,
if they translate exactly what they've done in the regular season into the postseason, it'd be perfect.
Yep. just tighten it up and focus more on that defense. The offense is there. If you can stop them on defense, you're so quick and so long with the rest of them, you're going to get fast break points. Just make sure you rebound. But, yeah, I think Eastern Conference or bust for them, honestly, unless for some reason – well, they should be 1-2 by the time they finish out. So they shouldn't meet until it's Boston and Cavaliers in the Eastern Finals. So this next topic, I don't know anything about. I'm excited to hear it because, you know, I love Doc Rivers so much. But he said, what?
So Doc Rivers says he doesn't get enough credit for winning 3 games in the playoff series where he blew 3-1 leads. No one tells the real story. Quote, no one tells the real story, and I'm fine with that. It's unfair in some ways. I don't get enough credit for getting the 3 wins. I get credit for losing. I always say, what if we had lost to Houston in 6? No one cares. One of the things I'm proud of is we've never been swept. All the coaches have been swept in the playoffs. My teams achieve. A lot of them overachieve, and I'm very proud of that. I mean,
a moral victory? Is that what we want here?
Glass half full, half empty type of guy for Doc Rivers.
I guess like these are it's still losers. I mean,
this is
you got to get 4 wins.
This is a crazy quote, man.
Yeah,
it's like we blew the 3-1 lead, but at least we got 3 wins.
That's right. Some other people didn't get 3; they got swept, and I didn't. So
like I have the most
got it.
Yeah, like I have the most blown 3-2 leads in NBA history. But listen, we just needed 1 more win as opposed to another team where they needed 4 more. That's not the mindset I would like to hear from my head coach going into the playoffs.
No,
that's Mark Spears. He's ESPN, so
3 W's.
Yeah,
my goodness.
You know, if you're the Bucks owners, like when you're talking with your friends and your family, and you're like, hey, what did you hear what Doc said? Yeah, what he said? And you read the quote, and you're painting this guy, X amount of millions of dollars, and he's saying, listen, if it comes down, we got a series, and we blow a 3-2 lead. My check still clears because we got 3 wins. We didn't get 4. We got 3 wins. And we don't get enough credit for that. Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. Yeah. The championship head coach. I think he's like 7th all time in wins. Just a wild quote, man.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even take this quote serious. Like, I mean, did he say this with like a straight face and everything? Like, I'm sorry.
That's what I want to know.
This is not a winning mentality coach quote.
Yeah, I don't know if he was saying this tongue in cheek. Yeah.
But okay, maybe the Bucks aren't the dark horse at all anymore after this comment.
Sheesh, dog.
I mean, what's he want to go in the Hall of Fame for most 3-win series but still losing? Like, is that an accomplishment?
His coaching career is it's so interesting. That's probably the best way, or unique. It's probably the way to describe his coaching career. It's Hall of Fame. It is Hall of Fame, but it's very unique, and this is one of the reasons.
Well, I mean, you'll even hear KG and Pierce and some of those. He would talk about like Doc wanted us to do what in the huddle. No, man, this is what we're going to do. And so it really makes you wonder, like, the credibility of that championship for him. Like, did they really listen to him 100% or on all things? Or was it like, hey, we're going to do our own thing. Like, we hear you. You're a coach. But when we get out on the floor, we're not doing anything you said because we want to win. Hopefully we'll get a 30 for 30 of that so we can find out. But that's
I think we kind of –
yeah,
the way the stories that you talk, I've heard those stories too. Him and Rondo went back and forth about, basketball philosophy, which led to, Rondo leaving and things of that nature. But Doc leaving and then Rondo leaving. It's wild. It's wild. But he did win that championship. I can't take. I lived through that moment. I watched those playoff series, so I just can't sit here and just say he was getting carried. Say that.
Right.
I can't sit here and say that. That'd be disingenuous. To make a casual comment like that. They could say that, but I'm not going to say that.
Right. We will never know. We can't justify anything.
Yeah. We'll never know for sure. But ultimately, he had a hell of a coaching staff. I think Ty Lue was on that coaching staff. Thibodeau was on that coaching staff. So, I mean, he was doing some things right for sure. I mean, those are 2 Hall of Fame head coaches right there on the bench with him. So, he definitely knows what he's doing. It's just when you say coach like this, I don't see what this really does. What does this do? I don't understand. I mean, obviously, he's affected by it, right? Of course, because it's real. It's real, and it's not just real with one team. It's like almost every team you've been on, and so yeah, of course, it's something that affects him, and it should as a competitor. To me, it's just I just don't see the actual quote he's saying right here. How is it? What does it really do? What sense does it really make? Just one of those things, man.
What do you even feel about the a lot of my teams overachieved? I'm very proud of that. Because even
I don't know. I mean,
know,
I would have to know. Like, I'm trying to think of the teams he was referring to. He's talking about those Clipper teams with Kawhi
Right.
and PG. Okay, and so yeah, they did overachieve in some of those aspects. Yes. You want to about the early Clippers with Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, and those guys? Did they overachieve? They were winning 50 They were winning 50 games a season. So so he can't be talking about those teams. Yes, players did get hurt in those playoff series as well, which led to some of those series being swaying the way it did. But that Houston run was, it's no shaking that one. That's an all timer. And
Yep.
And then the one against Denver too, all timer. Everyone wanted to see Clippers Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. Respectfully to Denver. This is before Denver became Denver, but Denver became Denver because what they did to the Clippers. So that's important. That's an important part of their story and route to their winning their first championship. Very important. Very important. That changed that. I mean, that to me, I feel like that changed the entire franchise for Jokic and Murray to believe, we could go down 1-3 and win a series in the playoffs. Changes everything. Yeah, it changed to me, it changed their franchise.
Oh yes.
So I'm not sure what teams he's talking about. Maybe the Magic teams early with McGrady, Grant Hill not being, maybe he's talking about those squads because that's when it started. But yeah, it's wild, man.
Yes. All right. That got us for today.
Yeah, wraps it up for today, guys. Thank you. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you. Stopping by. Had a lot of people come in and stop by. Shout out my guy Sean, dropping in some comments. Big Celtic fan over there.
I didn't know. I couldn't tell. Celtics in 5.
Celtics in 5, yeah. Yeah, you guys can follow me on X at cjames9_. And you can follow me on YouTube at CJ versus the World gaming channel. Drop a subscription on there. Drop a like on my live streams. Really appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in.
You can find me, MD Lawson00, on all social media platforms. And of course, I have a second show, Cats Chat, where it's Kentucky sports. It's March Madness. We're in Sweet 16. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We play Tennessee. We beat them 2 times. Can we win a 3rd time as the underdog yet again? I sure hope so. But guys, thank you for joining in with us, talking some NBA hoops with us. We are MNC Hoops. We appreciate you getting in here, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday where we get some more action going for y'all. Y'all have a good one.
You guys take care. Have a good week.